If you've been trying to sell digital products on Etsy and you are hearing crickets, you're definitely not alone. 37% of the students who have joined my mentorship program, the Sales Sprint, joined because they are struggling to make sales on Etsy. Whenever I look at their shops and see what they're doing wrong, it usually comes down to what I call the 5 Ps. And once we fix those, they are able to start making sales. So let's go over the 5 Ps that will help you make money selling digital products on Etsy. The first reason I see people struggling to make sales on Etsy is because they are making products that people aren't looking for. One of the simplest ways to find products that people are looking for is to go over to Etsy and look for products that have either the bestseller badge or the popular now badge, because that is Etsy telling you what people are actively buying. So here we are over on Etsy and I've typed in invitation, and this here, so the data I'm getting to see the amount of monthly sales, that is Everbee. This is super helpful if you want to know which products are selling and how much they're selling, so that you don't waste your time on creating products that aren't selling very well. And so I'll leave a link for you in the description if you want to try out Everbee. And so look at this: popular now, popular now, popular now, popular now. Etsy is telling you these products are selling. So what you would want to do is just recreate these products, put your own spin on it. Do not just come on here and copy this, because if someone wanted this unicorn invitation, they would just get this one because it's making 228 sales per month. So they would just get this one. What you'd want to do if you see that unicorn invitations are selling well, you'd want to figure out how to put your own spin on a unicorn invitation. And so now you're giving people a different option rather than what is already selling. This Bluey one, don't do that. Bluey is already someone's intellectual property. This person is at a high risk of they could possibly get sued by the creator of Bluey and get their shop completely taken down, removed, banned. Like, they wouldn't be able to sell on Etsy. So I stay away from these popular characters, because while they are making good sales, they're making over 400 sales per month. This shop was probably very short lived. They'll be shut down probably pretty quickly. Like, they've just opened, they've only got 28 reviews. So this is probably a newer shop. They don't really know what they're doing. And so they're at very, very high risk of getting their shop suspended, and they probably will not be able to sell on Etsy anymore. And so what you want to do is stick to general things like unicorns. That's super broad. Like, nobody owns unicorn. It's just a general character. And so making some type of unicorn invitation, or this one, it's getting 107 sales per month. It's a birthday dinner invitation. So seeing what is already selling on Etsy and putting your own spin on it is how you are going to stand out. And what I see a lot of beginners doing is creating products before they even know if they would sell. So they're just creating what they want to create and hoping people will buy it. You don't have to rely on hope. There's a strategy you can use. I teach you exactly how to do it in the sales sprint. You see what's working, and then I show you how to put your own spin on the best-selling product so that your product stands out and you're not directly competing with this best-selling product. You've made yours a little bit different and you're catering to a different type of person who wants something else. And so now you're able to make sales faster because you've put your own spin on a product that you already know people are buying. So that's the very first mistake I see people making, is they do not know how to choose the products that are already selling so they can just give the people more of what they already want. The second reason I see people not making sales on Etsy is because of their positioning. So positioning can be taken a few different ways, but what I mean by positioning is where you are showing up on Etsy search results. Where is Etsy showing your product? Are you showing up on page 1 or are you showing up on page 5? So if we cannot find your product, we can't buy it. So we need to make sure that even if you aren't showing up on page 1 of search results, that Etsy is still recommending your product. So to fix this issue, you're going to want to focus on SEO, which is search engine optimization. This is how Etsy knows what your product is so they can show it to the correct people, because we don't want someone to type in digital planner and they get results for birthday invitations. Etsy is a search engine. They are going to show the people what they are searching for. But if Etsy doesn't know that your birthday invitation is a birthday invitation, then they're not going to show it to anyone because they don't know who needs this product. And so you really need to focus on your SEO, which is why in the sales sprint, I show exactly how to do your SEO. So Etsy knows exactly what your product is, which means you'll get more views, which can turn into sales. So if Etsy doesn't know what your product is, they're not going to show it to anyone, and that could be why you are struggling to make sales because you're not even getting views. The third reason, and this is probably the most common reason I see people not making sales on Etsy, is because of their listing photos. So back over here on Etsy, these are listing photos. We want your listing photo to get clicked on. If no one even clicks on your listing photo, then we're not going to be able to buy your product. So we need this listing photo to get clicked. So these are popular now. So they're examples of good listing photos. A good listing photo is going to show you exactly what you're going to get, and we know exactly what the product is before we even click on the product. So look at this. I know this is an invitation. I know it's a unicorn invitation. So I know exactly what I'm going to get. And so that's what you want to do with your listing photo. Before we even click on your listing photo, we should know exactly what it is and the value that it's going to provide. The fourth reason that I see people struggling to make sales on Etsy is because of how they are pricing their products. Now, I see this a lot with beginners. Most of the time, I see them pricing their products really high because they're a beginner and it took them a long time to figure out how to make the product. And so they feel like they don't want to price it at $5. And so what they're doing is tying their time to the money. They're like, oh, this took me so long to make. I need to price it at X amount. And so they're just going off feelings. Like they just feel like it needs to be priced more. But what they don't understand is that you made this product one time and it's going to sell over and over and over again without you doing anything else. And a lot of the times, what I teach my students are to start with done for you digital products. So they didn't even create the product, they just edited the product in Canva. And so if you're not even creating the product from scratch, all you're doing is changing out the fonts, colors, adding some elements in there, it's okay to price it at $3. And so, as an example, I had a budget planner that I listed, it was like $2 and some change. And then I have a home management bundle that I had listed at $12. My $2 product and my $12 product, both in a 30-day period, made me $300. And so it doesn't matter if you are pricing them higher or lower. But in the beginning, you'll want to price them lower because you need reviews. And so the more people who are buying your products, the more chances of you getting reviews. And I have an entire video in the sales sprint about how to price your products so you know exactly what you're doing and you don't have to guess about how much you should charge for your products. I show you exactly how to do it in the sales sprint. So let's move on to the fifth reason that I see people struggling to make sales on Etsy, and that is because you do not have proof. And by proof, I do not mean testimonials, although that is important. By proof, I mean you need to be proving to people that you're a real person. There are so many scammers out here now that people want to know they're shopping with a real person. Like they want to know that this is a legit business. And so the more you can put on your Etsy shop, so like having a shop banner, having your icon, a shop icon, if you can have a picture of yourself so people can see your face, like things like that, having your about me section and all that filled out, that is going to help build trust with your customers. Even if you only have a handful of products in your shop, they will just feel more comfortable buying from you because they don't feel like you are going to scam them out of their money. And that can help you make sales as well. And so it's not as important as the other four. The top four are going to be the most important. Those like definitely do the top four. But if you can go into your shop, add your banner, add a picture like an icon, fill out your about me section, fill out your policies. You want to make sure that your shop is filled out so that it looks legit and they feel safer to buy from you. So once you do these 5 things, you are definitely going to be able to make more sales on Etsy. If you have no idea how to do any of these things, then you'll want to join the sales sprint. I break it down for you and keep it so simple. I even have students who give me feedback saying that they love how simple and straightforward the sales sprint is because when I made it, I created it to be very beginner friendly and I created it to focus on what you need to do to make money. And so I don't go into like all the details of like how was Etsy started, like the history of Etsy. We don't do any of that. We go straight into look, let's do this. Here's how you're going to find product ideas. Here's how you're going to make your listing photos. Here's how you're going to design your products, run these types of sales. Like I just tell you exactly what to do to make money because I know that's what you're here for because that's what I was here for too. Like I wanted to know exactly how to make money. And so if you are struggling to sell your digital products on Etsy, join us inside of the sales sprint. I'll have all of the details for you in the description below. And I know a lot of people who already have an Etsy shop are struggling to figure out how to stand out among the thousands of sellers already on the platform. And so that's why I created this video for you over here, so you can see exactly how to stand out on Etsy. This video is super in depth, and it's going to walk you through my strategies that I like to use to make sure that I am standing out so that I can make more sales. So make sure you check out this video, and I'll chat with you soon.